Okay, in this video, we're going to learn the skills to make our good health changes stick. So this literally could be the most important video of the entire series, and let your success be the judge here. Now, a lot of my contact with clients is around behavior modification. They either want to increase the amount of this that they do, say exercise, mindfulness, social contact, for example, or they want to reduce the amount of some other type of behavior, which could include drinking, smoking, ruminating, procrastinating, etc., etc. Now, most have usually tried to do this themselves before they've come to me, which means at least in their minds, they've already failed at this task before, and that can be a problem. Well, to begin, we judge ourselves way too harshly. When we're trying to lose weight or abstain from something, we'll inevitably break our promise to ourselves, we'll feel bad, and we say, what's the point? And quickly return to our previous habits and then repeat the cycle over and over. Important first point here. You don't make a change from feeling bad about yourself. Next point, we regularly mistake our goals for behaviors and get down on ourselves, which starts the negative cycle we spoke of earlier. I'll tell you what I mean. A behavior is something you could do right at this moment. For example, you could do a push-up. That is a behavior. But a goal is something in the longer term. For example, to lose weight, which is impossible to do in this moment. Now, we often confuse the two and start the negative cycle for no reason at all. Next point, we also rely on our motivation and willpower to achieve our big, lofty goals. Motivation is notoriously unreliable, and I'll talk more about this soon, but the research shows that it may only be useful for starting new behaviors. So, knowing this, we just need to do the behavior, and we need to find the safest and most reliable way to do so, and it can't rely on motivation. Perspiration before inspiration, I say. So how do we make these changes we know we need? Well, I really love Stanford researcher BJ Fogg's Tiny Habits formula for making lasting changes. It's really simple and intuitive, and backed by sound long-term research into how we change what we do for good. I've seen it work in my clients, and it doesn't rely on the notoriously elusive motivation or even doing a disliked behavior for 21 or 30 or 40 days so it gets wired into the brain. Instead, it uses things that are guaranteed to happen during the day as triggers for our new behavior. Let me explain how it works. Okay, first of all, we need to find a trigger or an anchor, event, a prompt that happens in your everyday. It can be an existing routine or event, and then we get to use this to remind us to do the new behavior. Secondly, we want to make a tiny version of the behavior that you want. For example, even 30 seconds of the behavior, but you need to do it immediately after that trigger moment. Third, we have to celebrate instantly, doing something to create a positive emotion. It can be a fist pump, saying something nice to ourselves, telling a friend, listening to our favorite song, anything to wire in the goodness. So 3 steps that don't rely on motivation. Notice here that you're doing the exact opposite of what you would normally do. And if you wire in the goodness, then you're likely to do the behavior again. Now remember, the easier behavior is to do, the more likely the behavior will become a habit. The harder a behavior is to do, the less likely the behavior will become a habit. So where do you think you need to start here? Good or bad? Increasing good habits or reducing bad habits, the formula works for both. Overall, people change by feeling good, not by feeling bad. Willpower is a myth for most of us. Bad habits are due to design flaws, not character flaws. Removing a prompt is the best first step to stopping a behavior happening. So for example, remove chocolate from the fridge. Take your phone away from the bedroom and you won't use it. Motivation is a really bad lever to pull, and it's very unreliable. And it's because we failed so often we feel the need to set bigger and bigger goals, which means we're going to fail even more often. And then we start the negativity cycle, which reinforces the old behavior and the old thoughts. Motivation and ability have a compensatory relationship. So if your motivation is low, make the task or behavior easy to do.